You guys ready for your first act? Make some noise, everybody. Come on, let's go. All right. Your first act, very funny lady. You can see her all over town. Please put your hands together for Jen Palumbo.
Hello, how is everyone? Fabulous. Very happy to be here tonight. I hope my outfit is acceptable to you, the audience. I'm trying hard to look fashionable. I can't lose weight, so I'm just camouflaging it with fabulous outfits. I just can't. I suck at it. Does anyone actually enjoy exercising whatsoever? I'm like at the gym. I'm on the bike. You know, there's TVs everywhere. And I'm watching The Simpsons. And 20 minutes go by, I'm watching The Simpsons, and I realize I'm not actually pedaling. I'm just sitting there watching The Simpsons. I'm like, why can't I lose weight? It's the damnedest thing. I don't know. My name is Jennifer Palumbo, by the way. Jennifer is a very unique, rare, exotic name. Palumbo is Italian for pigeon. Thank you. Thank you. My dad likes to tell people it means warrior eagle. But he's full of shit. Kind of like a pigeon, so that all works out well. I'm Italian, clearly, with the name Palumbo. Come on. Catholic. Not a strict Catholic, though. Believed Jesus walked on water, just convinced it was winter at the time. That whole section's going to get that on the way home. I have faith in you. Keep hope alive. I just got married a couple of months ago, and I have to tell you, thank you. Being Italian, Catholic, and single sucked ass. I don't know if any of you can relate. Because your life is really a series of weddings, christenings, and funerals. And there was this period where I had like one wedding after another. And I had this one Aunt Jeanette, of course, every wedding. She's like, when are you going to be next, huh? When am I going to see you in that white dress? When are you going to be next? So I started asking her the same thing at funerals. Yes. When are you going to be next, old woman? When am I going to see you in that box? It's very effective. Are there actually there are single people here by applause? Okay, are there married people here by applause? I don't know which group sounded more depressed. That was neck and neck. That was shocking. I don't miss being single, especially being single in your 30s in Manhattan. It's like being at the clearance rack at Target, really, because like all the men are marked down and irregular. I'm sorry. But then, whenever you ask a married person, "Are you happy?" they never say yes. They answer like they're in AA. You know? You're like, "Are you happy?" And they're like, "Well, you take it one day at a time." 200 days strong. We're good. My parents have been married for 42 years, and I asked my mom what she thought made a successful marriage, and she's like, "Well, your father doesn't try to run my life, and he doesn't try to run his own life either." So I guess that's the key to I don't know. I asked my dad what he thought made a successful marriage. He's like, "I don't know. Ask your mother. Leave me out of it." Haven't had an opinion since 1973. I married a comic, which people really seem to get a kick out of, although we have no money. But we have a sense of humor about it. I know, it's a stupid joke. But I don't know, people really get a kick out of two comics married. Like, you know, I think they envision after we have sex. He's like, "That's my time. Good night." If only, really. But now we're like, you know, I'm in my 30s, and we're talking about having kids. And is there anyone here with kids? By applause? Yes? And you hired babysitters? Thank you for doing that. I just want to acknowledge that. I love talking to people with kids because they spell all the time, and I never know if they're talking to me or their kid. Do you know? And I'm talking to my friend Jen, and she's telling me the story. She's like, "I was in bed with Bill last night, and he was paying way too much attention to my TITS. I'll give you a second to catch up and spell that. Okay. So I looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, "Get that out of your mouth, that's been on the floor." I'm like, is she talking to me, Bill, or her daughter? Because if she's talking to Bill, where the hell have her breasts been? It's very frightening. My friend Jen, obviously has the same name as me, and everyone calls me Jen, not Jennifer. She has people call her Iffer. Isn't that the stupidest ass thing you've ever heard in your entire life? Because it's my name, I'm like, I cannot call you Iffer. She's like, well, if it really bothers you, you could just call me If for short. I'm like, how about I call you Perhaps? Or I could just not call you, really. Those are your options. Pick one. I married someone also who was divorced. Divorced people, by applause? Oh, come on. Clap loud and proud. I highly recommend marrying someone divorced because women, from what I'm gathering, train their husbands like dogs. That's, it seems to be the theme. Like, you talk to a wife and they'll be like, well, I've got Bob to bring the dishes to the sink. I just can't get him to bring it to the dishwasher. It's a whole project that we're working on. It sounds a lot like, your uncle finally made on the paper. We're so excited. But with divorced men, they've already been broken down, considerably. So the first week that my husband and I were living together, he took out the garbage, washed the dishes, cleaned. I thought he was gay. It was amazing. I highly recommend divorced people. Although some breakups actually can be rather messy, and they forever haunt me. I read this story in Cosmopolitan once. This woman wrote in that her soon-to-be ex-husband one day appeared on her front porch and in front of the entire neighborhood accused her of sleeping around and being pregnant with another man's baby. Okay? She became so enraged at this accusation that, again, in front of the entire neighborhood, she pulled down her pants, ripped out her tampon, and threw it at him. I was horrified. I could never get my tampon out that quickly. Are you enjoying your fries? That's I'm telling a tampon joke and they're eating fries. I'm so sorry. And then men are afraid of tampons, which just cracked me up. Are they men, right? It's cotton and plastic, and they're like, oh God, tampons. She's talking about tampons. They just can't take it. It's too adorable because men will fight in wars and kill bugs and clean their ears with their keys for whatever reason. Yet you show them, a tampon wrapped in a news, and it's like a live grenade. I used to do this thing when I would meet a man, I would throw a tampon at him. If he caught it, he was a keeper. If he swatted it down to the ground, I kicked him to the curb. Now you know why I was single for so very, very long. Are you married here at this table? You are just not going to stop eating. You just keep going with your routine, ma'am. So, and how long have you been married? Do you mind if I ask? 16 years. Oh, wow. And are you, I'm not going to ask them if they're happy because we've already covered this. What's your secret to a happy marriage? AA. I suddenly feel like I'm on Oprah. Okay, anyone else not have a drug-dependent thing related in terms of happy marriage? Very interesting. Well, listen, if you happen to see me on the way out, and I hope you all do, please give me your name and address so I could send you all thank you cards because you've been very lovely. Have a great time tonight. Good night.
Jen Palumbo, everybody. Let her hear Jen Palumbo.